Okay, today is Friday, August 30th, and all I really got done today was flaring this fuel line and putting the connector on it. The fuel line wasn't going through a rib and then down. It was just out and down in the middle. So I've got this fairly big piece that's big enough to redo that, and I'm going to rebend it and make it the proper length and everything. So that's really all I got done today. I don't think I've been out here for a solid month. So the reason for that is just I started some renovations at home that I couldn't stop them because it was a master bedroom. You know, it's nice to have a place to sleep and to shower and everything. So we were busy renovating that, and it took way longer than I expected. Expected 1 week, ended up being 4 weeks. So good news is that's all done, and I can get back to working on this. So I took the skin off. These are the clamps that were on there. There's only 2 sitting there, but I was eventually going to get 4. So moved the skin out of the way and took the old one out. I don't know where I set it. And this is the new one. So it's getting a little later today, so I'm going to come back tomorrow and get this bent. I might have mentioned before my mini hiatus that I was going to try and put the wing on first, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I went back through, and that's what that mess is there. I went back through and figured out how exactly the wing gets bolted on here. So there's 2 bolts that go in roughly there. Stretching my fingers. It's 3 and 9 inches. So and then what you do is, once you have the wing put together, and that is the actual side that goes into the wing root. Once you get that on, you just drill a 1-inch hole for each bolt, and then you put the bolts in. It's just a matter of getting that fuel line in, and then I can start cutting the hole for that tub and getting the skin on for real. So I think that's it for today. Okay, today is Saturday, August 31st, 2024. This is the last bit to do before cutting up the skin for this, and then this will get glued onto the skin. This probably could have done better if I had measured that length a little better, because when I cut it, I was thinking it was in the center, but it's not. It's more towards this side. And in fact, it needs to kind of bend a little bit that way. But that, and the only way to get the tube in was to cut that right there rather than a little bit higher where that is. So I had to make a funky cut there, or not a cut, but a couple bends to get it at the right level. Otherwise, that would have been crooked. So this adapter would have been slightly at an angle going in, and that's not ideal. But now it's perfectly straight. So yeah, I just got it going back through this rib the way it should have been done the first time, and then of course had to make another couple bends to get it in the exact right spot. This is 18.33 from this rib. So that's what I did, and a lot of meticulous kind of getting this under here and getting the exactly where it needs to be, and okay, is it as far down as it can possibly go? No, okay, I need to shave a little bit more off. So a lot of that, and then finally, this wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. It's still kind of tedious though, getting all those holes in there. Of course, if that was machined, it would look a lot better, but it serves the purpose. So the next step is getting this figuring out exactly where in the skin to cut for this to go through, and then glue it to the skin, and then finally lay everything up, clamp it down, and glue it with the Prosealing. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to wait until the wing is done before I try and bolt it on. And chances are with the primer both on, that was something I hadn't really thought about, with the primer on the inside of this and the primer on the outside of that, it's probably going to be a nightmare to get on. So I'm probably going to sand that down pretty well in order to get that to slide on fairly easily, because I really don't want to be with a 10-foot wing. That comes a little bit later though. For now, it's just getting this first skin on. So I think that's it for today. Okay, today is Monday, September 2nd, 2024. I cut a little hole for the fuel intake there that goes into the bowl that I must have set over there somewhere. So this is where the bowl is going to sit. I'm going to put all 4 of the clamps on here before I situate the bowl, so I can be really sure that that's where it actually needs to be. So you can see that this one is close, but it's not quite right. Even with the cushion that I have there, it's just not thick enough. So not a big deal. The rest of this is just getting everything tightened up against the ribs before I put the clamps on, and then measure where that bowl goes. And unfortunately, after all that work, I got to take them back off so I can put the glue on. But at least I'll know that the bowl is exactly in the right spot. Kind of looking forward to getting this done. Once the hole is cut for the bowl and the bowl is actually glued on, it's off to the races and start tacking this on. So the second one will require a very small hole where that comes out, but that's about it for the second one. That will be the most difficult one, because I got to, of course, cut that edge out exact. So it's going to be as meticulous as the bowl is, because the tolerances are so tiny. What I'm really looking forward to is seeing that gorgeous skin all the way down the wing here, and getting it set up on the plane itself. So that is going to be very cool. But that's it for now. Okay, today is September 3rd, 2024, Tuesday. I don't know, for some reason I convinced myself that I only needed 4 of these clamps, but I obviously need I need 5, and there's a couple other issues, and why I'm going to kind of stop here for the day. Chief among them, I don't have enough bungee cords. They work really great for cinching those down, but I don't have enough of them. I probably have some rope laying around, but the bungee cords work really great, and they have a little bit of give to them. These need to be cinched down before I can kind of move this into place. I mean, it's very close. You can see it's kind of almost perfectly straight, but it's not quite. You can tell it's a little that way, right? So before I even think about putting the bowl under there, I'm gonna get this exactly straight as if it had been glued on. There's absolutely no surprises, and then I can take it off, cut the hole out, get it glued in, and then put it on, and everything is hunky-dory. But yeah, it's a process. Okay, the other small task I had today was to make sure I finally remembered to both print these out and bring them with me. So they all fit perfectly. The only reason these are kind of sitting crooked is because the nuts are still on there. So I just need to take the nuts off and slide them on. I already took the nuts off of this one, so that's why it's sitting flat. So yeah, this worked great. When I come back either tomorrow or sometime this week, I'm going to epoxy those in, and then the nuts will be forever. The bolts won't. So if these ever need to come out, those nut plates hold the nuts in, allowing the lights to come out if they need to be, which is the whole point of that. So I think that is it for today. Okay, today is Friday, September 6th, 2024. So I made this final template, and I decided, because of the way I'm going to do those a step at a time, I only need the single thickness, because it would actually be more difficult if it was because these are the exact same thickness as the ribs, give or take a millimeter or so. So this one's only going to be single thickness because and of course this is crooked right now because I just loosened all those, and I'm gonna move this into place where it needs to go. But so the final one will sit on this half where there's two of them, and then this will be taped over so I don't get any of the Proseal on this one while this one's drying. And then I will then when I put this one on, it'll just be like normal, and this will be taped so I don't get anything on the skin. So I think this is probably a lot less work for the same outcome. So that's what I'm going to do. I got some more bungees for these, but it's getting late today, so I'm not going to put that on tonight. I'll do that tomorrow. So the other thing that I worked on, and this was a little bit of a pain in the ass, but there's really no way to avoid it. So the screws that hold the back, so the screws that hold the back plate, the metal back plate onto this 3D printed frame, and of course this is two pieces. That's kind of part of the reason for the metal frame, is to hold it together. The screws that hold that in are actually slightly behind here. These are okay, they're up in the corners over here, so those are easy to get to. But these, you actually have to take the lights partially out in order to get at those screws. You have to hold a screwdriver on there to turn the nut off. So once I get this other side off, I can put these 3D printed nut plates, and those are polycarbonate as well. I can put those on the back here and be finally done with that. I should be getting both of these jobs done, at least one of them done tomorrow. I may not completely get to actually gluing that down, but I'll certainly have it in place so it can be. So I guess that's it for today. Okay, today is Saturday, September 7th. So the first job that I finished, well, not quite finished, this nut plate here and this nut plate here are on now. The only thing I need to do is put a little bit of epoxy around the edge. So you can see I actually took the nuts. So there was a nut and a lock washer that were originally part of these lights, the hardware that came with them. But when I took them out, I noticed some corrosion, not on the washers, but on the nuts for some reason. And I had the same size of the cadmium plated ones that came with the kit. So I just used those, and I'll just replace them later for when I need them. Probably be a good idea to order them now. Anyway, I replaced them with the AN, what are they, 416 nuts, and all is well and good. The only thing I had to stop with was the other side. I thought I had one of them in the wrong place, so I tried to machine it a little bit, and polycarbonate does not like to be machined. High heat tolerance and very strong, but it doesn't like being machined with anything, because it gets brittle and it just broke apart. So I'll have to make that new one, and it fit fine, and the nuts went in perfect. It's just I got stupid and accidentally broke it. So just got to make a new one. This is ready to be screwed in. It just needs that nut plate remade. So not the end of the world, just a pain in the ass. Over here, so all all four of the clamps are in place and tightened down and exactly where they need to be. The only one that I didn't get to was this one because I forgot to bring the this stuff here. I'll end up kind of wrecking the metal if I don't have something to put in between. So this has been measured a whole bunch of times to be exact according, how much is sticking out here, how much is sticking out here, measured along, make sure that nothing is out of place, and this is all exactly the same. Of course, I haven't measured this one completely yet because this isn't clamped down yet. So everything is going according to plan, except silly me forgot to bring what he actually needed. So like I mentioned before, this one was only half the width because I'm going to be taping this down, gluing this first section, and then putting the second skin in, and then putting tape on the metal, so they never they never contaminate the ribs, and and when I put the new one on, I won't get Proseal on the metal. So it's just, it's coming along. It's just I forget shit and got to take a break, but I'm kind of getting hungry anyway, so that is it for right now. Okay, it's later today, so I got the foam from home. I didn't have enough time to 3D print that piece, but that's a minor thing. It's just a matter of printing it out and putting the nuts back on. It's not a big deal. So for this, I went through all of them and made sure that there was no spots that were kind of high or low, that the clamp was holding everything, and just patching it where it needs to be. You can see there's a spot that's for whatever reason, no matter how perfectly I cut it, especially towards the nose, I seem to get it a little bit wrong. So I've just been using corrugated cardboard as spacers. Long story short, I got all these done. They're all aligned. They're all in the right place. Just a few more small spacers, or whatever you want to call them, cushions. And then these are all ready to start gluing. Of course, the point of this exercise is just getting it in place in the exact right spot that it should be, so I can also so all these are ready to go, because I won't have to do it again once I get the glue on. I can just put the glue on, get these all in place, clamp them down, and just let it cure. But the whole point of this is just so everything is exactly aligned for putting that fuel bowl in place. Okay, today is Sunday, September 8th, 2024. So I'm getting ready to cut the hole from the template that I made. You can see that the original hole was just slightly off, so you can see that the fuel bowl fits nicely where it's supposed to be. So the edge of this is 1.5 from the edge of that spar, and it's 18.33 from the inner edge of that last rib. So you can see my measurement, and this was pre getting everything kind of perfectly cinched down and everything. That could have been part of it. Could have just been bad measurement. I knew I was very close, but it was about a quarter of an inch off ish. But it doesn't matter. There's going to be a little bit of an overcut for making sure that this that way that this sits flush. So it'll have to be cut a little oversized, and then filled in with the gap filled in, so it's nice and flat. So, but yeah, everything fits perfect, and no mistakes. So awesome. Okay, so I got the hole cut out and trimmed. There's a few spots that are a little narrow. You can see there's a little bit of misshapen spot right there that still needs some work, but I'll do that when I come back out next. The rest is pretty much fine. I want to make sure that it sits flush, and I'm not positive it does that yet, but you can see it's very, very close to being flush there on the inside. Okay, today is Saturday, September 14th, 2024. So I was going to actually go all the way to gluing this down tonight, but the only way to really clamp this down, like I was able to kind of jerry rig a clamp for the end there, but I really wanted this to sit really flush with the metal as it's curing, and it's just not quite flush. So the way it's clamped right now, it's in the exact position that it's going to be when it's glued down. I'm just going to bring a bunch of really big heavy weights with me probably tomorrow, and glue it down then, and just set the weights on it. That'll give it enough force to clamp it down. So I use the kind of test seats that I plan on eventually using for rear seats. I don't want to use the Bede design because it's kind of a permanent setup. I want to put the rear seats in some sort of configuration that's reasonably safe and easily removable, and because 99% of the time it's just going to be cargo. So these seats, I put them in the front, and I just did not like them, but I decided, well, I'll keep them in case I need them for because I can use them for the rear seats, and I can design something for the odd occasion that I'm actually going to use them. I'll figure something out eventually. I'm not going to do anything with them right now. But they did make really convenient little props for the the skin to clamp this down. So you can see it's completely taken off over there. So I got this all cut out. I think the only real, I wouldn't even call it an error. I probably cut just slightly more on this side than I did this side, but other than that, since the last video, in fact, that was a lot of what I did tonight, was widening this, because with the radius of this, it just doesn't get didn't get past because it was quite narrow. So I just used the die grinder to widen this and widen it until it was completely flush and fit at the dimensions in the drawing. So that's all ready to go. It's all ready to glue down. I just don't have anything super heavy in here to set on there. At least nothing that's not going to wreck something. I'll just bring some weightlifting weights and set them down on here just to keep it flush. So this is ready to go. Hopefully tomorrow it gets glued, and then once that's done, the first skin gets glued on. Okay, today is Sunday, September 15th, 2024. So I got the weights from home. I had a really huge dumbbell, but I think it probably would have been too big. This worked out pretty well. So there's a 10-pound weight in the front, and that dumbbell in the back, and some clamps, and kind of a jerry-rigged thing over there to get to clamp the edge, and everything's working out great. Just waiting for that to dry. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, of course, the next step is the next section of the skin. So I got it peeled back as far as there, and this isn't super stable because this is quite a bit of an overhang. Like the second stand is there, and there's that much wing hanging off of it. which is why there's that big rock hanging from this side. So it's stable enough to work on to fit the skins, but it's this stuff is really hard to pull. Like you can see it's moving when I try and pull that, but it with one hand it's almost impossible. Like you really gotta. So it's probably one of the suckiest jobs of of building a plane is peeling that protective film off, because you'll have hands like Popeye when you're done. They're just it's really hard to get off. So that's the next step. This is usually dry to the touch by the next day. So I will, if I have a chance, I will come back out here and take a look at that, make sure everything's fine. And I was starting to do planning for fitting this over there, and like there's enough room with this flange to kind of sneak by, like that, but that would mean drilling an unnecessary hole in the side there, just for the fuel. So I think what I'm gonna do is put another grommet right about here and just run it around, and then everything comes through there. There's no reason why we shouldn't just put all the wires in here. So these two stands, once it's mounted on the plane, are plenty strong enough, and they're tall enough. Those will work fine for getting the wing on. So I guess that's it for today. Okay, today is Friday, September 20th. 2024. So I figured I'd make a quick video while this is still unglued. So I got this is finished curing. It's been several days, and it's completely cured. The only thing I had to do was, and I'll get into that later, but it was about 1/2 inch off. So I trimmed a small amount off of the back of there. You can see how dirty that is. I'll have to clean that up, but had to trim about 1/2 inch off. In a way, it's kind of a good thing, because the fuel bowl is as far back on the wing as it could possibly be. So that extra 1/2 inch just allowed for for this to fit flush to the spar. So what led to that was, so you can see here, it's fit nice and flush. Once I clamp it, it'll be nice and flush. So when I had it on the clamps before, this wasn't quite fitting, but as hard as I tried to get it to tap the clamps back, it just wouldn't go. I figured, well, that's the best I can do. I guess they're all going to be like that, but they're not, because as I was getting this one prepared, if I can get the camera in there, yeah, you can see that one also fits nice and flush. So I immediately realized, okay, it's not just the best you can do, it's just you're doing it wrong. So, and you can see, like, if it's clamped down, it's perfect, right? It's following the exact contours of the rib design. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the clamps. I haven't gotten them on yet. I think it was just not getting it on super tight before I put the clamps on, because I kind of used the clamps to get it in place rather than the other way around. So this time I'm just using a lot of clamps to get this in place, and then a lot of hand clamps to put this to get this in place, and then I'll put the clamps over and see how well they mate to the skin. So inside of here, besides just trimming that back end a little bit, I also had to put, there's a little cap. I don't want to swivel this too much because it's on there already, but there's a little silver cap, a little aluminum cap that goes on the end there that I had forgotten to put on. So I went through all the instructions to make sure I was doing everything I needed to do before sealing this up. That fits like a glove when I swivel it back down for forever. So that will stay nicely down right in the back corner of that. I still need to put the drain valve in there. It's just a brass valve. It's just like any other drain valve. Okay, getting ready to head out. Probably being a little bit of a perfectionist with this, but I really want the skin to follow the contour of the ribs as exactly as possible, because someone did the math and I don't want to wreck up. I don't want to mess up that math. So this is much tighter than before, and what I kind of realized is before I was just clamping this down like crazy, and that's completely not necessary. So you can see that the top portion is exactly right and it has no shims whatsoever, and the bottom is just this rocky road of cardboard shims that I've got in there. But I think that's probably the best way of doing it, rather than cranking this down and then it not fitting right there. And even as it sits right now, it takes a fair bit of hand strength, but you can pull these back just a little bit and get them, nice and tight up against there. And it's, it's got about a little less than 1/4 of an inch where it really can be completely up against there. So once it's clamped, it'll be exact to the form of the rib. And this is much better, and I know now that I can get that perfect. So it's just a matter of the daunting stretching and clamping and testing. I just want to be an absolute perfectionist for this, because there's no second chance with this. I did put a little bit of Proseal along the edge of this here, and I'll clean it up a little bit later. But there was a little, like it formed around the edge, but there's a little bit more on one side than the other, so I just made sure that it completely came to the edge of the metal, and that's all I really had to do. It would have been fine the way it was. Of course, it needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and of course smoothed out with putty or with fiberglass filler, but I can do that later, just to make it nice and smooth and perfect. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna leave it for tonight, and I'll come back tomorrow. Okay, today is Saturday, September 21st, 2024. So I kind of realized what I had done wrong before. So when I cut these out, I gave a good 1/2 inch of clearance, which was way too much, because these compress down into almost nothing. There's probably a 1/16 of an inch of foam in there. It looks thicker because it's wider than the wood, and it just kind of pushes itself up. But so there was way too much of a gap. That's why this top part forms just absolutely perfectly, because it was kind of good up against the rib just with an offset. So that made this part really off. So just going along with cardboard until all of this here is just right up tight up against the rib, and I did the same thing for the rest of them. This last one, for whatever reason, was much closer. I didn't really have to put a whole lot of shims in that one, mainly towards the front. What I'm going to do is loosen them up, because you can see there's still a small gap there, and I think once I loosen these, I'll leave these on and just tap it forward a little bit, and that should snug it up right up into that pocket and have it perfectly in there. It's just with so much friction with 5 of these on here, it just doesn't move. So yeah, the first job, I'm not doing anything on the top there. I just got to finish taping these off, and then I'm going to loosen them, tap this forward, and then make sure that I can get it right up against there, and then I will I'll get all of these off with their shims in the right place. These are the fuel bays right here. here and here, and then this one's empty. You can see everything. That's where the wall is, right? Okay, it's later tonight I guess. So I got everything routed the way I wanted. So I was actually planning on gluing this tonight, but I don't want to get in a hurry because it's already getting fairly late, and I don't want to be stuck here until midnight, because once you start you can't stop. So I think I mentioned in a previous video I was going to put a grommet in there, so I did. Just ran the wire out so everything comes out the center there. Got that little bit done. I measured this just in case I was going to have to do something special, but it looks like the only thing different I'll have to do, because I made this a little too long and then made a hook shape. The retaining clip will have to go around here, and it may have to be a little tall because it's it's not flush with this. So but that's minor. I can build that in less than half an hour and get that glued on with everything else. So everything else is ready to go. I scuffed all the spots. You can see well, it's kind of hard to see, but there's scuff marks where the skin lines up with the ribs on both sides. As luck would have it, just kind of shimmying this around made a nice through line where I knew exactly where to scrub. So you can probably eat off of this now. I cleaned it. It's been 3 times now. There's probably something that's still gotten in here, but it's very, very clean. Okay, today is Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. So all those weights and that little clamping system that I devised are gluing that, not really gluing, but sealing that cap in place. So if I can stretch over there, so that looks like a bit of a mess, but that stuff is fairly easy to clean up. The important part was building a clamp that will hold that in place. I decided, well, it just took a lot longer than I expected to, so I'm not going to glue the rest of this on. You can see it's just kind of haphazard sitting there. I've just got some weights to hold the shape of the wing, which is mostly flat in that spot right there, so the cap can dry. So there's a little bit of a little tiny bit of a ridge, and the circle that you cut out, use a 2 3/4 hole saw, and the Milwaukee one that I have over there worked really great. It's I think they call it like a multi-metal saw or something. It made a really nice smooth cut. It wasn't like a drilling out a hole for a door where it's just leaves a ragged edge on anything. It was really nice and smooth, but it's slightly, I think the diameter of that ridge that sticks up is 2.8 or very close, because 2 3/4 was just slightly too small. So I just used this guy to kind of go around and around and around, check, see if it's big enough. Nope, not quite. Around and around and around. Did that about 4 or 5 times, and then it was exactly the right size. So got a chair or a ladder here. So get the thing in real close. You can see like the ridge where where I've bonded the cap into the up against the underside of the wing. So I just got to clean up that little bit of a mess. You can mostly get it off with acetone, but you sort of you got to be really careful not to get the acetone on the sealant, or you'll completely wreck your job. So I'm gonna try and get most of that off before I leave, but I think this is a better option for getting this on rather than sealing the wing up and then reaching inside, and that's what the instructions said to do. But I think my way is better. So it's obviously not glued on the front of the spar anymore. It's actually glued in there. So I'm going to, this is mostly like in place now. So as soon as this is dry, I can just go ahead and start gluing this down. Yeah, I'm finally getting the wing done. So that's it for tonight. Okay, today is Saturday, September 28th, 2024. So I basically haven't gotten back here all week, so it's the weekend again. This is long since finished curing, and it turned out beautifully. That clamp that I made worked perfectly. You can see the just a light sanding that I did around here. There wasn't. I was able to just scrape off all of the Proseal that had kind of dribbled over the edge, but you know there was you know, a residue from it being there that you couldn't just scrape off. I tried using acetone just around the edge, being careful not to you know, to get into there, but it seems like once it's cured, the acetone is kind of useless. So in the end, I just took a small piece of I think it was 220 grit and just lightly sanded around the edge there to get rid of all the residue, because this is all going to get primed obviously. So I just want to get all the gunk off. Of course there's all kinds of gunk that needs to come off, but that was more like a gluey, sticky substance that was going to be very difficult to get off. This is just all fingerprints and stuff falling from the ceiling. That's easy to get off. So the only thing that's left to do here is to clean the inside. I blew it out pretty well, but you know, there's still a few little flecks of stuff from you know, drilling this out, and the skin from sanding and everything. So I just need to make sure that all that junk is cleaned out. Today's the day. It's finally time to commit to gluing this down. Okay, it's later today, so all the Proseal has been put on to all the ribs, and everything scooted into place, and all of the clamps are on and positioned in the right spot. I took a photo earlier, but I didn't video document it. There's a little retainer clip that holds the fuel line coming into the fuel bowl. It holds it in place, and it's riveted in. Of course, you Proseal the holes and everything, but so there's a little clip kind of goes around the fuel line that's you know, ending up in here somewhere. It was fairly straightforward getting it all on. One of those containers is just enough to do the one skin. So this is the other stuff, but the fuel safe version, that one there, they all come in these little sets with the you know, activator, and then the big can of the sealant. So this stuff isn't fuel safe. So I probably could have just mixed up a little bit of non-fuel safe to do this side. This one doesn't have to be perfectly sealed or anything. It's not part of the fuel. So the fuel starts in the next bay over. So you can see in there's a bunch of Proseal that kind of leaks through the edges when you press it up against the skin. So of course I'll need to just fill it with either gas or water, just to make sure that there's no leaks. Of course this is going to sit for several days before I even look at it. So it's basically just clamp it on and wait. And make sure that you got everything done on the inside before you clamp it down, because now that this is on, it's forever. Everything is sitting where it needs to be now. It's just a matter of waiting for this to dry. I just got a crap ton of clamps. They don't need a ton of pressure. I just wanted them firmly up against the rear spar. You can see quite a bit oozed out in the back there. These will just stay. This will just stay all clamped up together for 3 days while I'm doing other stuff. Other stuff being getting that one ready. Okay, today is Sunday, September 29th, 2024. So this is curing nicely. It's the only place I can really test the tackiness is the part where it dribbled out on the end here and at the back. So still a little tacky. So I left here around 6-ish, something like that, yesterday, and it is almost 4:30 now. So I'm gonna let it cure for 2 more solid days before I take these clamps off. The one thing that I did do, the protective tape that I put over that worked very well, and I'm glad I came out here this afternoon because it was tacky enough that it would still easily just peel right off without taking the other stuff with it. So I was able to easily take that tape off and throw it away there. So yeah, this is working perfectly. And as soon as these get off, this one goes on. So next task is getting all this protective plastic off of the metal, and then scuffing the places where these line up, and getting it put on. The only thing that has to be done for this one is that little hole at the back where the vent is. This one will use that type, which is it's also a lot. There's a lot more of it per can, and it's not the fuel safe type because it doesn't need to be. So the rest of the wing doesn't have any fuel in it. So I'll be using that stuff for the rest of the wing. Okay, it's later today. I got all the, man, it takes so long. I got all of the film taken off of that. And if anybody knows a faster way of getting that stuff off than just doing it manually, because it's not like an adhesive. It's just really, really, really sticky, and it holds pretty well. I mean, that's a good thing for keeping the film on, but getting it off, you end up having Popeye arms by the time you're done, or the strongest handshake in the world. So it's all off now. This one, for some reason, the plastic left a little bit of residue, and I think there's still a few little spots that I haven't rubbed off yet, but and that goes for both sides. I think I'm just going to go ahead and publish this, even though I didn't get the wing done. I think I'm just going to go ahead and publish this before it gets too much longer. So yeah, the next video should have this wing both completely finished, and I'm still in the process of figuring out exactly how I'm going to get it on there. Obviously, probably both of them need to be very well sanded. For the next video, I should be able to show one of the wings on there. It's kind of good to get back into working on this on a regular basis. There was a whole month that I didn't get anything done just because I had to catch up on a bunch of renovations at home. So that's all done, and I won't be traveling for a while, so I can get back to working on this somewhat on the evenings, and certainly on the weekends. So I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching.